Good morning, church. My name is Larry Zimmerman. I'm one of the elders at Ontario Christian Fellowship. For a few of you that might not know who I am, I hope everyone is doing well. Last week, Pastor Jim asked me to speak about the coronavirus as a Christian doctor. After thinking about it, I decided you're probably awash with all kinds of information, and probably what I'm going to say about it would be just redundant. So I have decided instead to talk a little bit about what's been going through my mind and what the Lord has been laying on my heart as we go through this actual crisis. Over the years, I have found when science can't explain something, such as it's going through right now, it doesn't really know how to treat this virus. Science doesn't usually step out of its parameters to look for answers. And ironically, when you think about it, that is really it's not really good science. For instance, there's never any room for the miraculous, that something occurred that there is no answer for. So instead of saying God did it or they put it on the shelf, hoping that someday science can explain it. And so it's interesting how science is scrambling as people die to learn how to treat, control, and prevent this terrible virus. What are the scientists and physicians telling us to do? They are telling us to do the same thing they did 2,000 years ago when they didn't understand leprosy. Deem the lepers unclean and just isolate them. And that's what we're doing. We're isolating ourselves so we don't spread it. It took 2,000 years to figure out that leprosy was caused by a bacteria that wasn't all that communicable. The last leper colony in the United States closed only 40 or 50 years ago. But I am also in awe of how something so small that it takes an electron microscope to see has the entire world at its knees. As expected, science has nothing to say about maybe God, at the very least, is trying to get our attention. I know he's getting mine. Is just an amoral, mutating virus, they say. But as a believer, it at the very least gives me pause to reflect on how easily all of life as we know it can be changed so easily. Right now, you could say all of humanity is on as much of a level playing field as it has been in our lifetime. We're all in this together, it seems like, the whole world, not just one country or one people group, but all of us. People from all over the world are hunkered down, many of them in fear. Hopefully that you're not. Perhaps for the first time they are thinking about life and how fragile it can be. It reminds me of the time in ancient Rome when the level playing field was at the whim of the Roman government. When the gospel story of Jesus Christ changed the entire Roman Empire, it did not do it by a bunch of evangelists preaching at the Colosseum, but the selfless, sometimes sacrificial actions of our early brothers and sisters. They were the ones who nursed those with the plague at their own peril, or picked up and cared for the abandoned infants, or fed the poor and starving that the inept Roman government ignored, or treated women and children, often sexually and physically abused, with love and respect. And I can go on. It was brought to my attention recently that a local patient, while recovering from surgery, became so anxious and depressed going through her recovery and the coronavirus scare at the same time, she ended up in the psych ward at the hospital. I hope this is not happening to any of you, that you're getting so overburdened with this. An old high school classmate who has significant health problems called yesterday and asked if I thought it would be okay for him to babysit his son's girlfriend's children, so that both his son and his girlfriend could go to work while her children were at home. We probably know people who are live from pay to paycheck and are now out of work. Sure, there are some safeguards in the form of money, hopefully coming from the